How dare us? We started early.
I think we might be live,
That's
Jack.
illegal.
That's illegal to be this early?
For 1 minute and 23 seconds.
How dare
Early.
you?
We're 1 minute and 23 seconds early. Oh, look at all these lovely people giving their well wishes to Mom for hoping she feels better soon. So hello, everyone. I assume we're actually live now, Dave?
Yeah, you are. I see you.
Well, we were going to do a show today, and Tawra was planning to do pound cake, and she was feeling really awful. So I said, why don't we go ahead and cancel the show? Although I didn't think I should have had something prepared for this kind of emergency, like doing some other sort of show. So Jack and I just thought we'd check in for a few minutes and say hi to everybody. Hi, Jessie. Yeah, she's all right. I mean, I think she has like a stomach bug or something, and she just kept, she was trying to motivate herself to be able to come on, and I finally said, I think maybe we shouldn't do this today. So actually, Dave, go ahead and kind of move the camera around here so they can get a sense of the whole kitchen.
Oh,
so
yeah.
She was actually preparing this show for this lovely, luscious
really good.
pound cake.
It is good.
And she will be making this pound cake on the show next week.
Yeah. So here's all the setup for it.
Yeah, you could see that she was right in the midst of making it, and then she just sort of was going back in and laying down and saying, I'll be better in a few minutes. And then she'd come back and do a little more. She'd say, I'll be better in a few minutes. And then I realized she wasn't going to be better in a few minutes. So, but actually, if you guys check in next week for this pound cake is really good, but so this version is the regular pound cake. And this is a really easy recipe, by the way. It just takes a while for it to bake. So that's why she was making some ahead of time. And then this one is gluten-free. So she had me putting together posts for the regular and the gluten-free today. So next week, that's what we'll be doing. But yeah, I think she does deserve a rest, Lisa. Oh, Nan says, hi, Dave, my love. They're saying they hope you're better soon, dear.
Oh, thanks. I'm still looking.
She says, thanks. The pound cake is in Dining on a Dime Volume 1, and it's also in the gluten-free Dining on a Dime. So next week when we do the actual show on it, we will put a post up as well. This one right here? Well, you can see. It's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look, it's even made with love. So this is page 286 in the Dining on a Dime Volume 1. And then I don't know what page it's in the gluten-free, but we will find out next week. Yes, actually, Karen, it is very yummy. That pound cake is awesome. So
Yeah, it is great.
so we get it twice. So that's going to be really awesome, isn't it, Jack? Whoops.
Yeah.
I accidentally clicked it. Let's see. Ooh, Mardella, thank you. I made the 2-ingredient dough today. Loved it. Yeah, actually, we did a whole bunch of 2-ingredient dough recipes last week, and those are really popular. She's laying there like she's trying to get involved.
You could grab her computer and put her on the thing.
Yeah. So, Jean says, please rest, my friend. There are days I spend the whole day resting. Don't feel bad about it anymore. So anyway, we didn't have a particular plan except for what Tawra was already planning. So we thought we'd just come on for a few minutes and say hi and let everybody know that Tawra is not feeling well today. And if you have any questions you want to ask Jack and me, we're here. At least for a little bit.
Who has the best mom in the whole wide world?
Who has the best
That
mom,
would
Jack?
be me.
You have the best mom? Oh, Margaret says, hope you feel better soon. Loving my planner and cookbooks. Yay.
Thank you.
Lots of people praying for you and hoping you're feeling better. So while we're here, any questions you guys want to ask Jack and me? Sending hugs to you and praying for a quick recovery. Thank you, Carrie. Wow. Oh, Bandana Grandma, so sorry our Tara is sick. Feel better soon. Mike and Jack will do just fine. Yeah. Well, what's funny is in the past, I've had a plan for some other sort of thing to do while Tara's not on, but I didn't plan it today because I was running right up to the wire. Oh, Angel wants to know, how is school going?
It's going pretty good.
Is it?
Yep.
How's it working out with the doing it at home?
It's doing good, although I do keep missing a bunch of stuff because I, don't see it on the thing.
Yeah, he's doing virtual right now, and we have a choice between the virtual and the in-person. But the in-person requires wearing the masks all day and a lot of focus on, all the procedures, and the procedures change a lot, and fencing to separate kids on the playground and stuff. And it just didn't seem like a very stable situation for him at the moment. So, but we told him if he felt like that he'd rather do that than he could. So, but it looks like for the rest of the year, it'll be this way. Hi, Jennifer. All the best to you guys. Thank you very much. How long has she been sick, Jordan? Probably just a day or so. Well, I think she's been feeling a little bit sick for a few days, but today it suddenly became a lot. And Dave and I had been sick a couple weeks. Well, a couple weeks ago I was sick, but not nearly as bad. And then Dave was. So I'm kind of wondering if it might be just a modification of the same thing. Oh, hello, everyone. Let's see. Bless her heart, send our love. Yummy pound cake. Yes, it is awesome and delicious. Hi, Kimberly from your Wisconsin farm. Let's see. Patty Grove, believing for Tara's healing. Remember Proverbs 17:22. I need to go look up Proverbs 17:22. Oh, Nan says, hi, Dave, my love.
It's not the dead
Yo.
shall rest in the Lord, is it?
Let me go look. Okay, so now I have to go see which one is Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. She says she's feeling pretty dried up. So I went actually to BibleGateway.com to look that up. I kind of recommend that if you ever hear a Bible verse and you want to know what it is, you can just go there and type it in and it'll tell you exactly. Crazy Cat Lady, so sorry to hear Tara isn't well. I hope she feels better soon. Thank you. I think she's really appreciating all the kind sentiment. Yep, Tony, prayers for a quick recovery. Glad you have a crew to help you. Looking forward to seeing you back. It's funny because yesterday she was well enough to do the test show. But I don't know, I was telling her, even when you're feeling well, sometimes towards the end you start to, once or twice she's gotten kind of faint towards the end just because she wasn't feeling that great. How about Jack making an easy recipe just to show other tweens they can cook? We should do that sometime. Do we have anything right now?
Well, I could make a waffle.
Show me how you make cinnamon toast, Mom said.
Or waffles.
Do you make waffles in the little waffle iron?
Yeah.
Do you want to try and make one now?
No.
Are you sure?
Goodbye.
No, Jack, come back here. We are terrific fellows. Are you sure? I might help you with it if you need any help. What did you make with it? Karen, I'm not sure we haven't made anything today just because Tara was sick and she was planning to do this pound cake that we showed everyone earlier. This is a regular version, and then this is a gluten-free version. She will be making these next week on the show because we just decided to take what we were going to do today and do it then.
And they are very good.
Why don't you do the waffles, Jack?
We could.
Why don't you get the stuff for them, and we'll do it right here while we're here.
Might need to make the table a little less cluttered, but
I can clear some stuff off. Bandana Grandma, Jack is teasing us with his waffle abilities. So they really want to see you make waffles, Jack. So do you put that little waffle iron over here? Tell you what, why don't I clear off this stuff here? And do you need any special supplies or just a bowl and some mix?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Oh no,
it's a waffle.
So I'm clearing off a little bit of the pound cake paraphernalia here that I would love to show you all. Jack is going to show us how he makes waffles. So are these aren't scratch waffles, right? We're just using a mix.
Yeah.
The kids actually love to make their own waffles, and Jack just started doing it. It's mostly been Ellie and BJ. Dave, do you ever make waffles for yourself? He does?
I
Okay.
made a lot of waffles. Usually they have chocolate chips.
Elizabeth, a lot of the recipes in Dining on a Dime are easy enough for kids to do. Yeah, he was doing snow ice cream with Tara the other day when we got a bunch of snow.
Do you know where that?
So what do you need? Tell me what you need and I'll get it. Cooking spray?
Oh yeah, that.
I'll be your
I
lovely
was
assistant.
confusion.
Oh wait. Oh.
Here is.
Typical teen. Nope. Yeah.
This arm is in the way from right here.
What's funny is not quite a teen yet, but he's building into that mode for
Huh?
sure.
What, Mom?
It's not coming on. Oh, there we go.
So Tara Jean.
I'm on vacation.
Oh, sorry.
She is on vacation.
Mom said she's on vacation.
Do you know if you can substitute almond flour for regular flour in 2-ingredient recipes?
No.
She says no, Tessie.
Alrighty.
Sorry about that. Jack, do you sometimes add blueberries or chocolate chips to your waffles?
Chocolate chips are superior.
Ooh, it's
Um,
Kathy's posting it, but there's a picture of some younger person who maybe is maybe possibly the one asking. All right.
Chocolate
So
chips
which-
are the best.
Which ones do you use?
I didn't actually know we have one down here.
Is that the one he usually uses? Okay, Mom says you can use this one.
Oh well, whatever.
All right, so sorry guys, we weren't
These
actually
kinda works.
planning this.
Yeah.
All right, so how do you measure it? Jack is looking for supplies. I'll keep looking at questions. So Jack, do you ever add? You don't add blueberries. Well, you do add chocolate chips though. You never tried the blueberries, have you? But you might like them, right?
Well, I think I might have tried them in Missouri, but
Yeah. So the kids usually use just a mix because I guess it's probably
I didn't actually know we had
pretty
that.
cheap and easy.
We have that over there, but
But we have Tara usually makes them. Well, do you make them from scratch usually, dear, or do you make mix too?
guess
She does both. Just depends on what we have at the moment.
it would probably be easier just to get it from there. But
What do you need? Tell me all the supplies you need.
scoop. That's it.
I
I mean, just the mix. Yeah.
Oh, you need which one do you use?
Either is fine.
Is this
I
just
don't know.
flour or is this actually pancake mix?
I don't know. I thought one of them was pancake
Is
mix.
this flour?
Flour is the one next to it. This pancake mix.
Ooh, the old fashioned one. So the scoop is in there? Is that why you're hesitating?
Don't break it. That jar's like 100 years old.
This jar is Tara's great grandmother's jar. And she said, don't break it. It's like 100 years old. So, Jack, why don't you tell me all the ingredients you need and let's grab them all.
That's it.
Just this? So you're not using this mix, you're using this mix.
Oh boy.
All right, let's
Maybe.
move this out of the way so you can do that. All righty.
So,
Yeah, let's turn it so people can see it.
Here, let me.
And do you need any special equipment before we start? Do you need me to get you use a fork or something like that?
sure.
I just wasn't sure how you get it out when it's done or flip it. Oh, you don't flip it, do you?
No.
Here you
This
go.
one cooks on both sides. Thank you.
Ooh, Bandana Grandma says that she likes banana and walnuts in hers. Ooh,
Ooh,
you
that would be.
you might like the banana, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Jack,
Not sure how much to put in. I'm just gonna kind of estimate.
You're just
because,
gonna wing
why
it?
not?
Oh, you're gonna need to put in more.
talk a little louder so everybody can hear you too.
Okay. So now we need some water here
Oh,
because if we put this in the waffle maker, it would not be very
Oh, my
Ideal.
favorite YouTubers are on.
So Jack is going to go get some water. So how much water do you put in there, Jack?
Yeah, just like.
Say it louder.
I'm not really sure.
He's trying to decide.
I just kind of
You put in some.
put in like half and half usually.
How are
And
you
if
trying?
And if it's too thick, then I put more water in.
Aha.
But if it's too thin, then I don't. I put more.
Do you always make it in the little bowl like that?
Most of the time, if I'm the only person making it, because unlike other members of this household, I don't usually make 16 waffles.
Who are you speaking of?
BJ.
Yeah, let's move that out of the way so everybody can see what you're doing. Yeah, actually, BJ, our oldest, even though he doesn't live here anymore, still comes by pretty frequently to make himself food and take a shower and hang out. And today was his day off, so we saw him some this morning. Kathy says, I go to an Amish festival every year. They use the same kind of waffle mix. However, they use 7-Up soft drink in place of the liquid. 7-Up makes for extra fluffy waffles.
Ooh.
That's a cool idea. We should try that.
Assume because of the fizziness. Not sure. It doesn't seem like very ideal.
Ooh, Jill says, for those of you who would like, we have a scratch recipe for Waffles and Dining on a Dime Volume 1. Yeah, I'll share a link for that here. Oh, and on our website?
Share
Yeah.
what consistency it should be. Honestly.
Well, okay,
You
so
need a
that looks a little bit too runny.
Yeah,
so
that's
why don't
what
we
I
add
was
just a little
thinking.
more of that? Here, I'll assist you briefly. So I don't know how you usually do
Oh,
it.
goodness. Okay, that's
How many times have you done this one? That's
like
probably
3
good.
or 4 times.
So yeah, I would just kind of mix it. You want it to probably to be, you don't want it to be real thick, but
You don't want it to be super thick,
it's
but
too watery.
you
That's
don't want it to be super watery either.
It's watery, then it's damp.
let's see.
Damn.
Moist waffle.
I don't have the recipe for the actual waffle recipe. Here's a link to the cookbooks. And then, Carson, if you go to livingonadime.com,
Seeming a bit better.
you can type in waffles or pancakes in the search bar, and it will be the same for either pancakes or waffles. They really are. The recipe is really interchangeable. Lori, is it flour? Wait.
It's just pancake mix or waffle mix or whatever.
Lori, no, it's not that. We've already had that. It doesn't seem like there's not a cough or anything with it. It's just seems like a stomach bug of some
Seems-
sort.
Good enough.
It's definitely not that.
I think you guys are trying to poison me. Take all my money.
We're trying to poison you and take all your money.
That's probably good.
Oh my!
Okay.
Totally missed a whole bunch of these questions. All right,
It's probably good to
I
think
got that
that.
one. All right, Jack. I think you're ready to pour it in there, probably, huh?
And then you take
Did we mention that Jack is somewhat
take
perfectionist?
the
Say it louder.
I take the chocolate chips and just oh no. Well, and then just kind of stir them in. And then
Oh, look what David says. Jack, make Mama waffle. It may make her feel better because it will be made with love.
yeah. And then we can
Is it served with hugs and
It's in?
kisses? That's the question.
Okay, so did Ellie help you with this, or have you done
Oh,
this
is it
in
on?
yourself before?
did it myself like once or twice.
You did spray
Okay,
it,
so you
right?
pour in about maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah, I did spray it, Dave.
Oh, of course it might. You kind of have to split the difference between not being all the way to the edges or squishing out the sides. So this is a little waffle maker. I don't know, where did we get this, dear?
I think that was.
So Tara got this at Bed Bath & Beyond, but Ellie
Not
really
quite enough,
loves
but-
this one. Is this the one you usually use to make it, Jack?
Yeah.
Wow.
So then.
This might be little, not enough, but that's fine.
Pat says make a chaffle, egg, cheese, and garlic powder. Never heard of that
What is
before.
it, chocolate?
Oh, I see. I wonder if it's just eggs, cheese, and garlic powder.
Just in case you need it.
Joanne says feel better, Tara. Lots of people saying get well soon, Tara.
Thanks.
No.
BJ says, feel better soon, Tara. The world needs more Tara. I received my 2 new books, volume 1 today, because I gave away the other ones. People need these cookbooks. Well, thank you, BJ. All right. Yeah, originally, so Tara's not feeling well today if you're just joining us, and she was going to make a pound cake, and we just came on to announce that she wasn't going to be here today, and somebody requested that Jack make waffles. So he's doing that right now.
Or something simple along those lines.
Yeah. And if you have any particular questions for us that we might be able to answer, let us know. Shannon, thank you. Happy Wednesday to you too. Jessica, excited to have Jack take us through a recipe. You got this, Jack. Okay, you probably want to hold the top right here. Oh, it's kind of hot.
Yeah, it is pretty hot.
I'll hold it. So he's kind of peeling it off there. And he's being really careful because, wow, that is a luscious looking waffle. So did you I know you put some chocolate chips in there. How many did you put in?
I might add some more. It looked like a lot, but now that I actually mix it in, it's not very much.
Here, if you want to go BJ, you could just dunk don't dunk the whole thing, but here.
Oh, goodness.
Actually, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That'll be a definitely speckly one now.
Most of them are gonna.
See, Mom's not here, so we're just gonna go all out with the chocolate chips.
It wasn't already slightly chocolate chip. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Teresa. Hope Tara feels better. Love watching y'all's show. Mike and Jack need to do a show. Will be fun to watch. Yes. Actually, it's funny because Tara was a few years back. Careful. Yeah, you can pour a little more probably.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
A few years back. There you go. And if it squishes out a little, we'll just clean it later.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
A few years back, Tara was out of town for a month. And at that time, Dave and I did all the shows because Dave was a little younger then and Jack was too young to really be involved with them. Mm-hmm. But I've been thinking maybe we should do more where us guys get together and do some kind of a cool thing. What was funny is a lot of times I would do a recipe out of the book that I hadn't seen all this time. Because there are so many recipes in Dining on a Dime that a lot of times I'll discover one and I'll think, wait, I don't remember this recipe. And then sometimes I would make the recipes and I would think, at the end, I would think, wow, this turned out great. I forgot which one it was. There was one with peppers and chicken and noodles and stuff. I forgot what it was, but I think it was, it had a name with lemon chicken. It turned out really, really great, but I thought it was going to be like Chinese food, and it was not. But I think there's a version in Dining on a Dime too there's Chinese food type chickens there. But the one ended up still being great. What'd you say?
Lisa wants to know, how do I get that first cookbook?
How do you get the first cookbook? I'll just share a link right here in the comments, and also in the description. The link is there. It's at livingonadime.com, and you can click on shop, but I'll just send the direct link here. And they're 25% off right now if you want one and you don't have one. And if you don't have any of our cookbooks and you want to try one, Dining on a Dime 1 is the first one that we recommend because it has all the really basic recipes, and it also has how to make a lot of homemade basic items. And it was also a time when we made it. That one has a lot more. That looks more chocolate chippy, doesn't it?
Yeah, more like a chocolate chip waffle. Than
These are professional looking waffles, Jack. So Jack is making this from a mix, but we ought to have him make it from the actual recipe in our book sometime. Yeah, Mom says pound cake and waffles for dinner. And we have to help ourselves, right? Oh, Bandana Grandma, hi Ellie, made any whoopie pies lately? You know, Ellie, is she here right now? I think she's at work right now, Bandana. But
she's at the store.
I don't know if she has made them, but she's been making a lot of unusual concoctions. I'd like to get her on the show, but she wants to be an off-screen personality. All right, so you've got 2 of them already. Wow, look at this, guys. This one is going to be a super chocolate chippy waffle.
Oh my goodness. It's
like almost 50% chocolate chips. Is that what we're having for dinner, Heidi? Well, Tara seemed to say so a minute ago. She hasn't been feeling good today, for those of you who are just joining us. And she made this pound cake for the show. And one of them is already kind of broken into. So she said, pound cake and waffles for dinner. Which is fine. We can improvise. I don't think anybody's going to complain. White chocolate chips with blueberries, like candy. Wow, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh wait, has it been?
I checked it just now. It wasn't good. It wasn't quite enough.
So one thing, Jack is very particular about these things. So he goes to he goes to every effort to make things as perfect as he can. He'll be our engineer. Tara says, "Yeah, we're trying to cure him of that."
You want designing and building the planes.
Yeah, she said he's the man you want designing and building the planes. So tell it. Well, we're going to keep an eye on the waffle, but tell everybody what it is that you do when you're not doing school and you don't want to hang out with your friends online.
Well, I sometimes I just
Here, shine that down here, Dave.
oopsies.
Or I mean, tilt it down.
3 times. That wasn't sure.
Whoops.
Didn't quite pour enough on that one, but it's fine.
No, we can't.
Put your arm there on that hot thing.
Sweet.
All right. So you can pour the rest of that in. I'll have you wait. I'll wait till after you do that before I ask you the question again.
What were you asking?
Crazy Cat Lady, one of the reasons your show is so great is because it's real. Wandering around the kitchen trying to figure out what I need. It's what I do all the time. You know, Crazy Cat Lady, we're wandering more than usual because Tara's not here. Well, she was feeling pretty bad, and I didn't actually make a plan because I didn't realize.
Right. So what were you saying, Dad?
So, in your spare time, what is it that you spend your time doing? Because I noticed that sometimes what you do isn't the same thing that a lot of kids do. So like when you're done with school.
Well, I mean, I play video games for one.
Well, you do play video games, and that's pretty typical. But what is it that I keep saying, I can't believe all the stuff that you're doing in your spare time?
Like programming and like making electrical circuits and stuff like that.
Making electrical circuits and stuff? What kind of programming is it that you do?
Like websites, games, just random weird programs that I decided I wanted to make one day, or physical contraption thingies.
Nice. Oh, so your thing, your little.
I can
thing
attach
that
it
you
to a battery.
Can you attach it to a battery and bring it, the one that's flashing lights and stuff?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll wait till we take this waffle off. So I've been finding that most kids, and I was one of them, every spare moment would rather be playing something than doing something anyway productive. And I think it's funny because Jack really likes, sorry, he's picking this off of here and want to make sure he doesn't get burned. Yeah. All right. Are you done with that one? Okay. Better unplug it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would probably be a good measure not to burn the house down.
Yeah. So anyway, what I think is kind of amazing about that with Jack is most kids, and he does this too, but most kids will say, oh, hey, I have some free time now, I'm going to go play some video games. So I'm not going to lie and say he doesn't play video games, but he, a lot of times I'll go in there and he'll be looking at all this code on the computer and I'll think, what are you doing? And he'll tell me, I programmed this thing and it's not quite working and I'm trying to figure out what the issue is. And you don't have to wash it all right now, Jack. And wow, he's right on top of it, getting everything all clean. Actually, why are you doing that right now?
Huh?
Do you want to tell everybody?
I don't know. I just want to put the ball away.
Well, you want to put the bowl away. Okay, so but mom was kind of struggling. Well, we were all struggling with everybody leaving their dishes, and Tara and I were mostly doing them. So she decided to implement
that too.
the kids do their own dishes right when they use them rule. So good job, Jack.
Oh, did you want me to get that?
Yeah, sure. So anyway, I just thought it was funny because he keeps programming things, and a lot of times he's programming things, and I have no idea. I used to be a tech somewhat of a tech genius when I was a kid. And well, when I was in high school. But there's stuff that he does, and I think, I have no idea how you're doing that. So he has, what are those little computers called, Dave?
Arduino.
There's a Raspberry Pi and Arduino, yeah.
Raspberry Pi and Arduino.
He, the other day, was programming some things, and eventually he came and told me he had programmed a language for the two of them to communicate with each other, and then was trying to get one in one room of the house to communicate one with in the other room of the house.
Not a future web developer, Barbara. He's a future engineer.
Yeah, I think
he's gonna go way above web engineer, web developer.
Yeah, I think. Oh, actually, that sounds really good, Patty. Slice some strawberries for that pound cake. Yeah, so I think Jack seems like he has a very strong engineering thing, and it's funny because already each one of our kids. Well, Ellie hasn't been that interested in computers, but BJ was at a certain level that kind of passed me at one point, and then Dave is at a higher level in a lot of areas. And,
I'm still at a level that you wouldn't understand, probably.
yeah, and Dave is designing video games and stuff, and so,
Yeah.
and then Jack is been just experimenting with things that It's funny how his mind works, because he says, I think I'll design this program to just do this, and so he's been designing games on this website called Roblox, and he'll design a lot of programs that just. I'm trying to think what he just gets an idea.
Been, like, messing with JavaScript and stuff. He's been scripting his own programs from scratch that work on other programs and stuff.
Do you remember what programs? I'm trying to think of an example.
Well, he made a bot on Discord that responds to you if you'd say certain things, and it does its own actions.
A bot? So he programmed
He's programmed robots that basically work on other web interfaces.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
You mean like that virtual helper on a website or whatever?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so he keeps programming things like when you go to a website and there's a chat bot. So if you click on it and it says, hey, can I help you with something today? And then you answer and it tries to be smart and respond to you. He's been experimenting with programming stuff like that. And I don't know where he is at the moment, but he was going to come to bring this little board he has with stuff. And it's funny because it seems basic what it's doing, but what he had to do to make it do that is pretty advanced. And actually, it's funny because I think it was I think 2 years ago at school, he programmed something that had, there was a program that normally takes, I don't know, like 500 lines of code. Okay, so this is kind of really techy, sorry. But there's a program that you have to write like 500 lines of code to explain what to do with it. But Jack made it so that it only used like 15 lines of code. And his teacher was so impressed that she posted it on this website for tech teachers around the country. And she had tweeted something about it, and I think it got 40,000 shares. And so I just thought it was funny. Jack is definitely, what's funny is BJ at one point figured out a way to route some things on our system at home around a block I had on the computer because Tawra needed to get on it. And I thought, whoa, he knows more than me now. And then Jack does things, and I think BJ's surprised at the level of what he's doing there. So here's,
all right,
so tell us what this is, Jack, and you hold it up where people can see it.
So this is a little circuit I made.
What kind of device is that it's on?
This is a Arduino. It's basically a little tiny computer that you can program to do stuff and interact with in the physical world, and you know.
And what did you program it to do today?
So I made it blink 2 lights at different speeds, which is something kind of like not very intuitive to do, because if you try and make a delay to blink one of these lights, it completely stops everything else and you can't blink the other light. So
Yeah.
I figured out a way to do that.
Did you?
And yeah, so
You can see they're here.
So it's funny to sit there and watch him doing the code, and to realize that it's just
Yeah,
blinking
let me-
2 lights really, but he had to set it up a certain way
You see these
to
2
make
lights?
them. Yeah, to make them both go, because he's programming at a really, really basic level. Like there's nothing at all in the program, and he has to come up with it.
From scratch.
Joanne says, "How old is he? 30?" Yeah. Linda says, "Is Jack the baby? He's getting so big now." Yes, he is. So, well, look, Jack. Shannon says, "Such a smart boy." So, anyway, Sandra says, "Hi, Dave, behind the camera."
Hi, Sandra.
Anyway, yeah, Denise, we were actually just going to come on for a minute and say Tara's not here. But then I thought, well, we'll see if we have any questions or anything. And so I think Jack has been doing show and tell, right? Denise, how do kids figure these things out? I still can't figure out how to copy and paste. All right.
A lot of practice.
Let's see. I'm just looking to see what we have.
And a
Jack-
lot of procrastination.
Jack is a handsome young man. Looks a little bit like his mom. Let's see. Love the Pi coding. Actually, do you have a Pi also, or just an Arduino?
I have an Arduino. That's what this is on. It's kind of like a Pi, except it's not like a full-on computer. The Pi can actually be used for normal computer things.
And
But I do have a Pi, and I use it for like web stuff and programming and stuff like that.
so you were using the Pi in the other room to control a computer in here, weren't you?
I thought at one point you were using SSH commands.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
So Cheryl wants to know, what is a Raspberry Pi?
it's.
oh, I have one. Hang on.
I could go get my. Oh.
Well, he's gonna go get his, but you say what it is.
So it's basically a little. It's like that big, probably fit inside your hand. It's a little computer, and you can use it for most normal computer tasks that aren't like super.
Complicated.
Yeah, super complicated. And
This is
it has a bunch of little
yeah.
outputs on the. Oh, yep.
So it's
It's
basically
got some ports on it, and it's got these pins that you can connect
You can connect like electronics to those,
external
and
devices to.
so it's a teensy
It's
tiny
nice.
computer. And do you know what kind of resources it has on it?
it's pretty powerful. I don't
It's got-
remember.
I'm thinking that this probably has more computer processing than what it took to get people to the moon.
Yeah, yes, it definitely
Yeah,
does.
this has
It has
more
like
than
30
those
times
gadgets.
more.
So for those of you who are as old as me, holy moly, I remember when I was in
All the
Cub
little
Scouts? in Texas, we went to the Department of Public Safety, which is like the state patrol. And they took us to this giant building that was like 4 or 5 stories tall. And they said, this is the computer building. It holds the computer. And the computer is so powerful it can keep all the driver's license numbers of everybody in Texas. And I was thinking, wow, my wristwatch could do that now.
Yeah, this tiny little thing could probably hold that same amount.
Yes.
A lot of data.
Sandra, love the shamrocks. Nice shirt, Mike. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Just checking to see what else we have here. Again, for those of you who might be just joining us, Tara is sick today, and we just came on to say she's sick, but we're chatting as long as anyone wants to chat. So, oh, thank you, Eileen. Eileen super chatted, 5 pounds. Well, thank you. How are you doing in Ireland today? Let's see. Jack, do you? Oh, Tackleberry says, I bet Jack likes Star Trek.
Oh,
Come over here and say if you like it or not.
Yep.
Yep, is that all? So what Star Trek is your favorite Star Trek?
Well, I mean, the only Star Trek I've ever seen is Voyager, but
You haven't seen any of them? I thought we tried to watch a little bit of some of the other ones.
I think we're thinking about watching Next Gen, but we weren't
Ooh,
Yeah.
you would love Next Gen, actually.
Yeah, what's funny is BJ had no interest at all in Star Trek. And then Dave and I started watching a lot of Star Trek. And then Jack got interested in it. And now Ellie has been seeing it in the background. And she's just been noticing on Voyager, I think Captain Janeway and Seven of Nine, it's been interesting to her to see kind of a lot of that stuff. So Elizabeth says, I'm 31 and these guys make me feel ancient. Yeah. Thank you, Willow. Mike would make such a great Cub Scout leader. He's a wonderful dad, would be such a great role model. I appreciate that. I hope that you guys think that.
You are a good father.
Oh, thank you.
I have no idea what a Cub Scout is, though. So,
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
You don't know what a Cub Scout
don't.
is?
So I see the gap in your education there.
yes,
That's true. So tell them what a Cub Scout is.
I don't know what that is.
So, well, Scouts is
You know what
a
a Boy Scout is?
group of, you know what a Boy Scout? Okay, so it's like a Boy Scout, only younger.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I was
that
in,
makes sense.
Yeah. And when I was younger, I was in Cub Scouts, and then a little bit in Boy Scouts. But Cub Scouts learn all kinds of cool skills and go and get merit badges for things like hiking and fishing and boating and stuff like that. Have you done any of those things?
I've done hiking and
And boating?
and a tiny amount of boating.
But
Why?
it was in Scotland, so that makes it worth it, right?
Yep, it was in Scotland.
Why is it named a Raspberry Pi?
Well,
We don't know why it's named Raspberry Pi.
its
just
logo
called
is
that.
a raspberry.
That's like,
I have
why
no
is
idea.
Windows called Windows? I mean,
So the Raspberry Pi,
I think it's just the name they chose for it.
yeah, Joanne, I thought Raspberry Pi was dessert. Yes, me too.
Oh, and I got it for my birthday. My friends were like really confused.
The Pi, so it's some engineer got the
I don't know why
idea.
it's called a pie though.
Well, they call it a Raspberry Pi, like PI, like the number
Like
pi.
the number pie.
And so it's, I think a tech geek was just having fun with that. Let's call it a Raspberry Pi. So Shelly, she did hear on her thyroid results. I think they said it was okay.
Thyroid's fine.
There's
I
a,
am perfectly healthy.
they said she's perfectly healthy as far as that goes. That she had a,
Idiots.
there's a supplement that she's taking for, I think, her fibromyalgia. And the supplement shows, it throws the test off. So they determined that was what the issue was. They made her stop the supplement long enough to retest her. Denise, I remember my uncle showing me the first digital watch in the 1970s. Yeah. I remember all the things that I thought were technically brilliant when I was younger. And I don't even think they can comprehend what that's like. Like I remember, I think I was in the 7th grade when we got a computer at our school. And the school had one Apple II computer for the whole school. And we would have a class and there would be like 30 kids in the class and one computer. And the teacher would say, well, if you actually want to touch it and kind of mess around with it, you can come after school. And so like 4 of us came every day after school and learned to take over the world. So, but now they have,
Sorry. Yeah.
that's such a basic rudimentary concept to them to have that super basic level. What were you going to say, Dave?
Windows is named after having like Windows on your computer, like exploration windows and like the Chrome windows and stuff like that. So apparently Windows does have an explanation. My bad. But yeah, I don't know why Pi is called that.
People, I like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Classic Trek. Yeah, I actually liked the Classic for a long time, and I've seen all those others, and I liked Next Generation when it was on. Deep Space Nine, some of it, but haven't seen that much lately. But Voyager, I don't know. We all really like Voyager, and so
Yeah.
And that one, Voyager, I didn't see when it was on TV at the regular time because it was on a network that I think we didn't get at the time. So, Becky, Mike, are you going to have more Bible studies? Yes. I was trying to get one out for Thursday, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point. I was actually editing something yesterday, that wasn't coming together very well, and I'm probably going to shoot something tomorrow morning and try to get it on as soon as I can. So thank you for asking. And if you aren't familiar with what she's talking about and you're interested in that, I'll share a link here to my new Bible channel. And by the way, Tawra has a new channel for 5-ingredient recipes, and you're posting regularly on there, dear?
Yeah, 3 times a week.
She says she's posting on it 3 times a week, and I'm sharing a link for that as well. So, yeah, on the Bible study channel, I was thinking about going to do a live stream on it with you guys. Right now, I had some plans for some topical ones, but they're taking longer. And then I was thinking about doing some where we just read a chapter and kind of comment lightly on it. This is mostly to help people who are sort of beginning. But I thought about possibly doing a live stream as well. I'm trying to figure out what it is that everybody who's interested in that channel will kind of click with the most. And then I'll probably do more of those. Let's see. We already answered that. Of course, let's see. Who was asking about? Somebody was asking about cryptocurrency. I have no idea. I'm a little suspicious of it, but I guess, I don't know. I just don't understand it. So, make mom some peppermint tea for the stomach. I missed her already. Get well soon. Lots of prayers. Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks.
She said thanks.
All right, let's see. I'm looking to see if we have any other things here that anyone's asking. All right. Darlene says, this is a nice family. Love having Jack on today. Eileen, lockdown is dragging on and on, Mike, but I love watching you, Tara, and the kids and Jill, keeping me sane. Yay. Well, Eileen, I would sure love to come over there sometime. It's funny, Ellie and I were talking about we were talking about our kind of having our desire to go back to Ireland and England and some of the other places we've been. In fact, I realized the other day, my cell phone, when we were in Norway, I don't know if you guys know, Turid in the chat is from Norway, from Bergen. And when we were going to Europe in 2019, she said, you're going to be in Scotland and Norway is just a short distance away from there, although we ended up going from London. But when we were there, her son set my phone to say that home is the address of the remodeled barn that we were living in while we were there. And I realized the other day, my phone still says that's home. And I kind of just left it because that was a really cool, there was this old couple that were farmers and I guess they had retired and they had this little area. It's kind of a strip of farm next to a mountain. And they had this huge barn and the old guy completely himself had remodeled the whole thing with this really fancy hand carved woodwork. And he had all these really fancy carved pieces of furniture. It was just an amazing place.
I'm getting really hot.
Okay. Well, say goodbye, Jack.
Goodbye, people.
Bye, people of the internet. See you next week when you're eating do you want a piece of pound cake? Maybe you should try it.
I already have.
Oh, did
yeah.
you?
Yeah.
And how was it?
It was really good.
You should have had
It
to
was really good.
It was really good? All right.
Really
Actually,
good.
it is really good. Mom made some pound cake. She's going to make it on the show next week, but we can have some for dinner. Okay.
Very sweet.
Tell Tara to get better, chill out, fix her a cup of tea, and a good book. Yeah, she's actually reading a book whenever she feels, pretty good. So, yes, Jennifer, it is nice when they say you're a good parent out loud. Ms. T, yes, there's a generation of adults now who never watched Happy Days. Actually, with the older kids, we sometimes watch Psych, and it's funny because there are so many references to old shows on there, and it's funny. Mostly Tara and I get almost all of them. Sometimes I get something that she doesn't get because I'm just a hair older than her. And then the kids, sometimes we have to explain some of it. And then the younger ones, we don't, there's a certain age where we kind of have them watch just because some of the content. Yeah, Amy, my eyes gloss over when kids talk about their tech. What's funny is I have understood a lot about the tech, but I found lately when Jack is explaining some things, I think, wow, I have absolutely no idea what you're saying. I mean, I don't tell him that, but I'm thinking I would like to be able to understand, but. Oh, Jack.
Huh?
Sorry, you need to come back real quick because Stormie has a joke for you. Here, I'm going to put it on the screen and you read it out loud and then you have your reaction.
Jack, what do you think you get when a chicken lays its eggs at the top of a hill? Egg rolls. That's.
Susan, sending you all a lot of big hugs. You're doing a good job. Gentle hugs for Tawra. Curiosity Untamed. I've never heard of that. We got to check it out. You can earn badges for all kinds of things. Super cool stuff for everyone, but especially for homeschoolers. You know, it's funny because lately even though we're not really locked down particularly hard here, it's still a lot of the places that pretty much all the normal routine things are still unavailable to us here in Colorado. And so we're all home all the time. And I see Dave's ready to check out. Actually, Dave, you can probably go if you want. I've got the control of it over here too. And because of that, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. We kind of were thinking about hiking more, like hiking, try to do once a week, although it's not really quite working out that way, but so that we can let Tawra have some time to herself. And I think Jack, this is last year, Jack kind of started getting into hiking. And what did you do, 3 or 4 hikes last year with us?
Yeah.
This year, he's probably going to do a lot more.
Was it the year before it started? I thought.
You started the year before?
I thought so. I don't
Yeah. And
I didn't do much the year before, but.
But we kind of work them in a little at a time. But I think this year, particularly, we were up there snowshoeing. Oh, I should have some pictures here. But we were up snowshoeing, and it was super gorgeous. And Jack was just talking about how much he really liked that. And I think the hiking here in Colorado, it's nice that we're able to go do that. So we try to make the most of doing it a lot, just because we can. And, you know, I've lived in places where we didn't have that opportunity. And I think just doing those things a lot is fun. And we try to sometimes take some of Jack's friends or Dave's friends, something like that when we go up, and they usually have fun too. Although it's funny because I have to sort of guess the level of where each kid is so that we go far enough that it's exciting, but not so far that they're complaining about it. So let's see. My dad was an engineer in 1974, had one of the first calculators. I was not allowed anywhere near it. Wow. Oh, Jill, this is, of course, Tara's mom, guys. One thing I'm so lucky with 4 grandsons, they make sure Nan knows about all things computer. Actually, you guys were talking, somebody was saying something about me being a good dad. It's funny, Jill, the kids will just call her. They all call her and they just tell her all about their day and everything that's going on. And she listens patiently, and they will a lot of times go into extensive detail about computer programming and stuff. And she asks some questions and all that. It's just kind of amazing how, I don't know, that relationship, even though we're not in the same place, they're still pretty much in touch with her every day, which is pretty cool. Sorry, Denise. We were the same in the UK. One computer, and it was for the boys to learn programming. Actually, it's funny. My grandmother gave us a computer when we were kids, and it was supposed to be for the whole family, but no one had an interest in it but me. So I ended up kind of taking it over, really. In fact, when we saw War Games back in 1980s, I think he was using the same kind of computer that I used. So let's see. I'm just looking through comments real quick here. Probably be checking out here in a minute, but I just want to see if anyone has any questions. Yes, Tammy. I'm definitely going to go see if she needs some more tea in here in a minute. Let's see. Sandra, yes, Bible study live will be great, Mike. So I'm curious, is this something that you would be interested in me just kind of going through a particular couple of chapters while we're live? And that's kind of what I was thinking about doing. So I'm trying different ways to do it and see, but I think the live ones I might get more of them done that way. So that was kind of what I was thinking. And then I could find out what kind of things people are interested in. Let's see. All righty. Denise, hiking is great. Start carefully, then go. Yeah, one thing about the hiking here that's really great is I have a lot of experience doing it. And as the kids have grown up, I've tried to involve each of them in it. And for a while, BJ was coming, and then Ellie was coming, and then Dave started coming. And when he was little, he kind of had a lot of problems with blisters and things. And I think the older ones, they were kind of getting in the snarky teenager age. And then I think, just decided they didn't want to do it anymore. And so then Dave and I just heavily focused on a lot of hiking for a lot of years. And he got to be spectacular, really an expert at a lot of the outdoor stuff. And then they ended up sort of getting interested again and kind of coming back to that. And now that Jack is getting older, he's involved. But Dave and I think last year we hiked about 130 miles up in the national park. And that was a lot of different hikes. And one of them, Illy, just randomly got the idea to come with us, but it was on a 13 or so. It's 13,500 feet. So halfway to a 14, or if you guys know what that is. And that's a really hard kind of mountain to hike. And so she hadn't hiked at all with us. But she was in really good shape. So Dave and I made a plan to do this one hike with her on an evening during a week, and then go the following weekend to the hard mountain. And so we ended up doing a night hike on this one. Well, we hiked up in the day, and then from the peak, we watched the sun go down, and then we came down in the evening. And I think Ellie really liked that. And then we did the 13,000 foot Mount Ypsilon in Rocky Mountain National Park. And it was really brutal towards the end. If you hike in the mountains, a lot of times, I should have pictures for this story. But if you hike in the mountains, a lot of times you'll think, oh, there's the peak, we're almost there. And just as you get up to it, you realize it's a false peak. So it's kind of like it goes up to there, and then it's slightly flat, and then it peaks up again. And that mountain had, I think, 2 or 3 of those. I think it was 3. And so we were having a lot of difficulty breathing and stuff. But by the end, it was awesome to get to the top. Jack he's been on a mountain top, but it's been a smaller mountain overlooking Boulder, Colorado. And that one, it's a shorter hike. And I try to, like I said, pace the kids with the hiking distances. And then as far as safety, we've kind of learned, we do short hikes mostly in places where there are a lot of people that come down the trail, and maybe not all at the same time, but like if something happens and you're stranded on the trail, it's likely somebody will come along. But nevertheless, we always bring enough gear for rain. If we had to spend the night somewhere, enough food for a little bit of time, and some like emergency things like Band-Aids and bandages and stuff like that. But we kind of try to balance bringing safety equipment with not bringing so much that we can't really hike. But it's been a lot of fun being able to do that. And I've been really appreciating that. Wow, a lot of people saying yes, live Bible study would be great. Good. All right. Well, I will plan for a date to do that. Probably, I want to say, next week. I'll say. I want to say early next week. What?
Tuesday.
Well, Tuesday is the day that came to mind. So I think maybe on Tuesday. One thing on the Bible study channel, if you guys are interested in that, I'm going to share the link again. If you subscribe and click the bell icon, then it's only on YouTube. But if you subscribe and click the bell icon, it should notify you if I'm going on with something. and I'll try to schedule it ahead of time so that hopefully it notifies you ahead of time. And if you have subscribed already, but you don't know if you've clicked that bell icon, I think you can go to YouTube, and if the bell's not highlighted, you can click it. So that way next week, I'm thinking around Tuesday. I have no idea what thing I would open up the Bible to, but I'll come with some kind of a plan, and then we'll see where it goes from there. One thing about live that's really great is people ask questions, then we can kind of change direction a little bit if we want. Shelly, nothing like being in God's country and getting away from technology. Yes. Actually, one thing that's funny about the hikes is when we go in the national park, there aren't any cell phone towers there. So I've learned to turn my phone to airplane mode because it'll burn itself out. It'll burn the battery completely out looking for a tower. But, it's nice not to have that communication. And there's been a couple times where we've needed to call. Like one day in 2012, there was a big fire north of us, a really huge fire. And then we saw smoke and we realized it was coming from a different direction. And we weren't sure if it was in the national park with us. So we ended up kind of going to a little ridge line so that I could get a straight shot to call Tawra and just say, hey, do you know what this fire is over here? So anyway, yeah. How does BJ like his new job? I think he likes it a lot, Denise.
Way better than Xfinity.
He says way better than his other place. And he had to apply for a sales license, and the license hasn't arrived yet. So he's doing he's not actually selling. He's going with the salesperson, and he's touring the RVs that they're selling. And I think he's really excited that he's really gonna like doing this job. And he's looking at how everybody else sells, and he's kind of interviewing the person who is the best salesman they have, just so he can kind of learn and figure out. He's pretty strategic about how he does those things, and so he's pretty jazzed about it. And I think the thing he's really looking forward to is the place that he was working before just had a lot of really unhappy customers. Pretty much everyone was unhappy if they came into the store because they have phone support. This is at the phone company. They have a lot of people that call their phone support and they're just really unhappy. And then when they're really full of rage, then they come to the store. So every day he was just having people yell at him and call him names, and it was just an unpleasant environment. So this place, he says that there haven't been any customers that were really grouchy or unhappy. And I think hopefully it's a sign that they do business in a better way. So anyway, he's pretty jazzed about that.
Yeah, Xfinity was rough.
Yeah. Denise here in UK have been unable to meet up with friends to go hiking due to restrictions for a whole year. Yeah, that's too bad, Denise. There was a time where we were more locked down. In theory, we were seriously locked down, but the reality is the order didn't say that. And what the order said is we could go a certain distance for recreational getting out as long as we stayed away from other people. So right at the base of the mountains, which is not nearly as far as we normally go, we found some ranches that had been dedicated to open space. So when the people died, they willed their ranch to the county government and they made it a park. So during that time, we would drive over there. And the nice thing is we could just get in the car and go there without encountering anyone else face to face. And so we were able to go hike out there. And it was really kind of what was helping me keep it together during that time. And so I can't imagine when you can't go out at all. That's got to be tough. Eileen, what's the furthest you ever hiked? I love the outdoors. Probably in one hike, about 18 miles round trip. There's two different hikes where I've done that. One is Long's Peak, although I didn't quite get to the top of Long's Peak. It's a 14,000 foot peak here in northern Colorado. And it's actually one of the more dangerous ones. And I didn't really realize that because here people just see it and say, oh, I'm going to hike that mountain today. But that one was 18 miles with, I can't remember how much elevation gain. I think at least 3,000 feet elevation gain, which if you don't know, that's a lot of elevation gain. Then the other one, Lawn Lake. Well, in the Rocky Mountain National Park, there's Lawn Lake, and then there's another lake beyond it, Crystal Lakes. And that one also was 18 miles round trip. So it was pretty exhausting. And I don't know, sometimes when I go with the kids, we really try to pace that because like Jack is younger and he's just getting started. He's got normally about a 6 mile round trip maximum. In the snowshoe times, it's probably 30% more difficult than regular hiking. And so when we go with the snowshoes, Jack, I try to keep him around 4.5 miles. And we tend to go on a trail where there are multiple lakes along the trail. And I like that so that if everybody says, we're done, we can't do this anymore. If we get to at least one of the lakes, in my mind, there's the logic of we've accomplished something. We've seen something or gone somewhere. But some of them we've gone to a lot and they're like old friends. So that's really cool. So I saw another question. Actually, Eileen, it's funny is when we were in Ireland and Scotland, I had intended to hike, but I think we just weren't feeling up to it at the time. But we were in Scotland, we were, I'm spacing the name of the park, Loch Lomond in the Trossachs. That we were north of there, but we were in America, a certain distance doesn't seem that far. But when we were in Scotland or Ireland, we realized it takes twice as long to get the same distance. So we ended up being a little too far from Loch Lomond. We could have done it, but it would have been a really, really long day. And in Ireland, we were in the south, and I was kind of hoping to hike something in the McGillicuddy Reeks, but next time. So let's see. Actually, we've never really hiked. I can't think of hiking really anything very far out of the U.S. I say that, but I guess Ellie and I did go some distance in a few places in Ireland. In fact, at the Cliffs of Moher, we ended up walking to the south quite a ways out of the park along the edge of the cliff lines, and it was really beautiful. Let's see. Looking to see what else there is here. I was actually I told Tara, I'll probably be on for 5 or 10 minutes. She said, yeah, right. For those of you who haven't been here the whole time, Tara has been feeling really sick today. And so she was going to try to do the show. And eventually I said, I think you shouldn't. She just take it easy and get well. I think she's got a stomach bug. But she made this lovely pound cake. Here. She made this lovely pound cake as an example. And she also made a gluten-free pound cake. These were going to be actually the examples for the show when we were still planning to do it tonight. But since she wasn't feeling well, we're just going to do the same show next week. So if you want to check out the pound cake, it's amazingly delicious. I would check in for it then. Yay. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your thoughts on the Bible study idea. I will plan to do a live one. I think it might be a little easier because I spent a lot of time on the pre-recorded ones, and I'm not sure that it's as much of a benefit for everyone as live might be. So, Darlene, hi from Sydney, Oregon. Hope Tara's feeling better. Yeah. Well, she's not yet, but hopefully soon. So, good night, Denise. Oh, yeah. She says it's midnight here. Yeah, I feel for everybody over and across the pond. Let's see.
Got my weather station back.
Oh, maybe you should show what that is. Did you just put it back together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a different device. I thought it was the same one. So while I look through comments here, Jack's going to show.
It's different designs, more compact than my last one, but
so
it also
it
doesn't
camera.
Actually tell you what it is, but
that's the temperatures.
So you can see. I hope. Can you see that?
I see that. What is it showing us?
Top number is the humidity in the
Wait,
area.
hold on a second. So this is a weather station that Jack made.
Oh yes.
Right.
Don't take that to the airport.
Huh?
Yeah, BJ says don't take that to the airport.
Yeah, probably not. That one.
It'll be okay. He'll just keep it in his bag.
Make sure it beeps.
Make sure it beeps
Yes.
and has a little flashing light.
Yes.
So he made this weather station, and what information is it sharing there?
Currently, the top number is the humidity, and the bottom number is the temperature, you can see. And if I were to blow on it, you can see the humidity goes up quite a bit.
So the 71 is the humidity, or the 78? Or the 78?
I haven't labeled them. I could go label them, but the top one is the humidity. So
yeah, it was funny when he wanted to demonstrate that the humidity was working, he just breathed on it. So anyway, this is another one of he's always building this kind of stuff, and it's pretty cool.
I built this like a while ago, and I just tried to reconstruct it because,
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Ellie, question, did you find an RV yet? She did not. I think she was a little frustrated with some of them, but no, not so far. And BJ, now that he's working at an RV place, I think he was thinking about doing something a little different. So you were talking about maybe getting a different RV or making one or something recently?
Well, I don't really know. I was planning on just making my own, getting like an enclosed trailer and putting like actual residential stuff in it. But now that I work for an RV dealership, those Mallards look pretty enticing, and I can get them for really cheap.
So he said he was thinking about buying, this is BJ, he said, I guess he doesn't want to be on camera right now, but he said he's kind of in relaxation mode. So he said that he was thinking about building one for himself out of a trailer, but now that he's working for an RV place, he's got his eye on one he's really impressed with. So
It's expensive, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's still probably cheaper than what it would be for me to build one though. So I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
I'll just buy a pre-built one.
He says expensive, but probably cheaper than it would cost him to build one. So, and I guess if it was new, you might like that, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to have problems with RVs, regardless of whether you get it new or used. But at least for now, it's weird because you can buy a used RV for the same price as a brand new one. So there's really no point to buying a used one unless you get one that's like 30 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says buying a used RV is about the same price as a new one a lot of times, so he would probably not get a used one. So,
Plus, it comes with a warranty then.
yeah. Barbara, Mike, does elevation affect your breathing? Yes, but I'm in pretty good shape for the breathing. When Ellie and Dave and I went on that 13,500 foot peak, the air is pretty thin up there. And there, I feel like my lungs are going to burst out of my chest. But we just kind of take it slow and think, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm never doing this again. And we just take a little at a time, stop for a lot of breaks. Then when we get to the top, we're thinking, okay, I think this is the last one. We're going to be able to do this. And then like a week later, we're thinking, ooh, when are we going to do the next one? So it's kind of funny how that works. Lindsay, did you get to the boulder field on Long's Peak? I got to the top, but it was super scary. I did not. And congratulations on getting to the top. That's a hard peak. I have twice been.
This year.
Dave says we have to do it this year, but Tara says she doesn't want me to die and leave the family without a dad. So I have twice been on Long's Peak, and I got past the boulder field both times. So for those of you who don't know this peak, you hike a really long distance up through the mountains. It's kind of steep and windy, and eventually you come out above the tree line, and you hike across all kinds of rocky paths. And just as you get really close to the peak, you come to, I want to say maybe a quarter to half a mile of giant boulders, and you have to kind of make your way over the boulders. Oh, sorry, Tara was talking to DJ, I guess. And that part is kind of a destination for a lot of people. But if you go slightly past that, you kind of climb up this spot where there's what's called the keyhole, which is a rock arch that kind of comes out over, and you can go through this little hole area, and you can see almost 360 degrees around from almost 14,000 feet. And it is amazing and gorgeous. And the funny thing on that hike, I don't know if this was your experience, Lindsay, but when we hiked it, you have to start like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, depending on how acclimated you are. And in those days, I wasn't. And it got down to below freezing at around 4 or 5 in the morning. And then the sun came up. And then later in the day, it was like 100 degrees up there. It was really hot out in the blazing sun. So this is something you pretty much, that one, sane people hike it in the late part of the summer. But there are some professionals or less sane people who might do it in other times of the year. But yeah, Lindsay, I went up to Boulder Field, I went through the keyhole, and then I went across, about halfway across the Narrows, and there was a spot where there's a railroad spike hammered into the rock, and you have to kind of step over about a 2-foot gap, and it's 3,000 feet down into Glacier Gorge, and I thought, nope. It's not that the first time I think I had a head concussion, and the second time I was just too tired when I got to that spot. So might someday do it, but Tawra, I think Tawra, it didn't occur to me until I talked to Tawra about it that she would be concerned about whether I might not come back. She says after Jack turns 18, I can. Long's Peak, every year somebody dies. And so that's the danger. And typically they get to the top successfully and then they're feeling encouraged, but the elevation has got them and they're not really very clear. And then they get careless. And so I think we would be okay, but at the same time, I might hold off just because Tawra asked me to. So Christine, do you realize how attractive you made hiking? You really lit up talking about it. Why not do more talks on hiking? Well, maybe I should.
That's my department.
BJ says that's his department. He also likes to go.
Tell them where you're at.
He has a particular spot he likes to go a lot. And I'm not going to say where, but he for a while he was going there like multiple days a week, just as his morning exercise routine. And I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I really love the hiking. And what's cool about where we are, if we moved to somewhere else, I'd have to kind of get this all over again, which is fine. But where we are, I've been hiking here so much, and Dave with me, that we really can identify everything that's around us. And so we know many of the mountains by name. And what's cool about that is if we were to get lost, it would be pretty easy to find our way back, because we could just look at, there's Mount Ypsilon, there's Deer Mountain, there's whatever other mountain, and then based on that we can find our way. So that's pretty cool. And it's funny because I forgot who it was that asked me about the emergency stuff. I completely spaced it. But we have also had discussions, like sometimes the kids and I will talk about things like, what happens if this happens and what happens if that happens? And when they were younger, there's an area we like to go hang out, and then we just kind of bushwhack, go off into the forest behind this area. And when we were doing that, I think the question came up, what if we get lost? So I was telling them things like, all these streams go down, and all the ones in this area go down to places where there's civilization. So if you were completely lost, you could follow the stream down. Or like when we had the wildfires in 2012, and there was that one that we weren't sure if it was in the park, we were talking about things like, okay, what would you do if the fire came over here, and how would we do that? And right now we're above the tree line, I would probably stay there. Just different things like that. So I really love it. It's funny. As I talk about it, I realize I love it more than I thought.
You can't say on YouTube where you're at if you're on there.
Pardon me?
You can't say on YouTube where you're at if you're on there. They'll find you.
Oh yeah, they seriously do.
Oh,
Multiple people got in trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, some people were talking about it. Yeah, Tawra said that some YouTubers got in trouble for actually videotaping and talking about their hike and making a big deal about it on their channel. Yeah, it's funny because, and the weird thing about that is that the lady who is in charge of that, one time I asked her, do I need a license for this? How do I do it? Here's what I'm doing. And at the time I was doing a lot of kind of planning to do that and shooting some things and putting them on. And at the time when I told her about it, she said, oh no, that's probably fine. But the thing is, it wasn't really making any money. And maybe that's why they went after these other YouTubers. So we did actually did we put that on Living on a Dime? The one with us doing the Dream Lake frozen hike with the?
Huh?
Or was that on the Rocky Mountain
Wait,
relaxation?
what was the question?
The Dream Lake hike.
What do you mean? What about it?
When we did the frozen, when I did the video where we had the little fish and all that, we were making the jokes about the.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if that was recommended.
I think it's on Rocky Mountain Relaxation. I don't have a link for it at the moment, guys, but Rocky Mountain Relaxation on YouTube has, maybe I can find it. I think that I put it on there. At the time, I was thinking about doing a hiking thing, but I haven't. Yeah, if you go to YouTube and type Rocky Mountain Relaxation, there's some videos there. And there's one. Is the Dream Lake one on there? Let me look real quick. Oh, now I'm going to have to find out where it is. Maybe it's on Living on a Dime. Anyway, we did this one where we actually did record it and put it on. And I'm not going to probably spend too much time right now, but I just wanted to, since people were asking, I was thinking if I could figure out where that video is live, I could share it. Although everybody was a lot younger then. And actually at the time, you weren't with us, Jack. No, it's not loading. Okay, so let me look at the rest of the comments while we... Oh, I don't see a name here, but somebody asked, it's like dash dash. Wow, how many miles is that hike? So the Longs Peak hike, the one that I think you were talking about, it's 18 miles round trip from where I started. And you have to walk a long way to get to that one. It's it's like a couple hundred feet. I think it's 100 feet higher than Pikes Peak. But Pikes Peak, you can drive up it, and Longs Peak, you have to walk a really long way. Barbara, I'm glad you know your limit on hiking, Mike. Yeah. One time I was trying to get the kids to go with me, and I had an ankle that was bothering me, and none of them wanted to go, and I thought, I'm just going to go myself. And when I went, I thought, wow, I'm going to do a long hike because I don't have to wonder about anybody else's ability to go further on this hike. And I went really far distance. And then there's a point where it's kind of the end of the trail for most people. And then only diehard people go past that. And I went past it maybe about 3/4 of a mile up this rocky hillside because there was another lake above. And I was thinking, man, my ankle's not feeling too great. And I thought maybe I shouldn't be this far out with nobody else. So I kind of turned back, and that was probably a good idea. But at the time, I found out later I needed an ankle surgery. So it was still fun, though. Jennifer, you can live all 4 seasons in one day in Rocky Mountain National Park. Yes, you can. It's really beautiful up there. Tracy, Mike's hiking channel, that would be fun. Actually, it would be really fun to do something like that. I love hiking gentle. The dirt is gentle on my knees and joints, and one gets a full body workout. Yes. What's funny, because when Tara and I were living in Estes Park, we would go out to places where they were more flat and walking along streams and under trees and stuff, and it was easier. But she would have trouble doing a lot of what we do just because of her fibromyalgia and CFS. I walk 6 blocks down my sidewalk. Well, sure, everything you can. Stacy got my goat milk cream today. Yay. Well, I hope you like it. And Ellie was just here. Oh, I can share. Do I have that? Yeah, if you guys are interested in that, I'll share Ellie's link to the goat milk creams and soaps. So Mike's going on for 5 minutes to say that Tara isn't feeling well. Has turned into an hour and 20 minutes.
I told you so.
Well, at the beginning, we weren't hardly saying anything, so I didn't think it was going to last.
Ask them who's the extrovert in the family.
Yeah, Tara said, guess who's the extrovert in the family? Actually, there are 2. Any care to guess who the other one is? Jen, Mike, the lazy me is exhausted just listening about all the hiking. LOL. Sounds like a lot of fun, though. Yes, definitely it is. And ZV, I'm in the mountains of Western North Carolina. Everything is a hike around here, uphill, downhill, no straight walking. Yeah, what's funny is the last couple of years we've been a lot more consistent about going more frequently, and I realized some hikes that were really difficult for me before are not. So I guess that goes to say that doing exercise regularly is good. So anyway, all right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it here in just a minute. Oh, the title of Tara's soap making channel. Pardon me? Oh, how to make soap. Let me see. We have show notes. Let me see if it's on there. It's how to make soap is her channel. And if you ever need a link and you don't have it, our most common ones, if you go to livingonadime.com and under the videos, show notes is one of the ones that drops down. And a lot of those links we have here, and I think it is here. Yep. I'll share the link right here in the comments as well. And let's see. Hello from Detroit. Hope you feel better. Yes. Aw, my mother-in-law says we love Mike anyway. All righty. That would be Jill. For those of you who didn't put that together. All right. Joanne, what's the question about YouTube? If you post again in just the next couple minutes, I will respond. But I'm going to probably go here in a minute since I think Tara's chuckling at Mike talking so much.
I don't care. You can stay on till midnight if you want.
Yeah, no, I was just joking. All righty. Well, looks like that's pretty much all the comments for today. So thanks everyone for joining us. I'm just taking one quick look. If you have any more last minute questions, then please ask. All right, so for nobody seemed to guess, but the other, you're not going to be surprised when I tell you that the other extrovert is Jack. And he loves to tell everybody he's the other extrovert, which is one way you can tell. Nobody else in our family is extrovert. Diane, greetings from New Zealand. Love your shirt, Mike. Get well wishes to Tara. Oh, thank you. Crazy Cat Lady, great show, Mike. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Have a great night. Oh, yes, thank you, Amy. And Tammy's reminding me to get you some tea, so I will do that. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We really appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome night. And if you're on the Bible channel, let me share the link for that again, and you want to be involved in a live stream, go and subscribe and click the bell. And when I set up the live stream, you'll be notified. I'm thinking next Tuesday, probably in the afternoon. So it's sometime not too far from when we normally do stuff. And if you go and do that, you will get notified for that. So anyway, awesome. Well, thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. I really didn't anticipate being on this long, but it was awesome having you all here. So we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of the night. Bye. Whoops.